Good morning, students. How are you all doing today? I see. Well, I'm happy to hear that you are all doing well. Are you ready to start today's lesson? Okay, then, without further ado, let's get started. So, students, have you ever heard of Kamala Harris? Okay, so I see that some of you have, but some of you haven't. And that's okay because we'll see who she is, okay? We'll do that together. And here, I have already opened a Wikipedia page about Kamala Harris. Now, Wikipedia, I'm sure that all of you are familiar with this page and have used it at least once in your life to search information about a famous figure or perhaps your idols. All right, so here we can see that Kamala Harris is the Vice President of the United States. We can also see that she was born on October 20th, so 20, so her birth date, and we can also find information about her birthplace. What else can we find in this page? Okay, so we can also find information about her early life, her education, and also her career journey. So there's quite a lot of information about Kamala Harris here. And if you're wondering, what does this have to do with our topic for today? Well, students, the type of text that you are seeing right now is called a biography. And that is our topic for today. So, you have seen an example of a biography and have read it actually, but what exactly is it? So, a biography is a written history or life story of a person. Basically, an author of a biography narrates a person's life into a text, and the purpose is to provide details of a person's life in an informative and entertaining manner. So, these three parts make up the generic structure of a biography. First, we have the orientation. So, orientation is usually located in the first paragraph and it gives background information about the person. If we were to refer to Kamala Harris's Wikipedia page, the orientation states information about her birthplace and also her birth date. It also tells the reader why the person is noteworthy and should have a biography written about them. Because you can't just write about anyone. People who are usually written, peop- the lives of people who are usually turned into a biography are those who have made an impact to this world, either bad or good. So, in this orientation, the author will usually talk about why this person is important, basically. And then, after the orientation, the first paragraph, then there comes the series of events. So, in this part, significant events that happened in the person's life are described. Series of events are usually written in multiple paragraphs and also in chronological order. This is what we have to note here. So, if you're writing a biography about someone, you have to write it in a chronological manner. What I mean is, for example, if you tend to write about the person's achievement in 2007, and you also want to write about this person's other achievement in 2020, then you have to write the one in 2007 first. For example, you write it in the third paragraph. And then in the fourth paragraph, you explain about the person's achievement in 2020. So it has to be in the order of time. Okay, so the last part is reorientation. Basically, this is the summary of the the two previous parts. And in the reorientation, the author should remind the reader of the person's achievements and the impact the person has made on society. And the author can also add personal comments in the reorientation. However, this part is optional, so the author can choose to either include or exclude it. Okay, let's have a little review. Okay, Intan, can you please mention the three parts that make up a biography's generic structure? What's the first one? Okay, correct. First, we have the reorientation. And, oh, I'm sorry, the orientation, yes, correct. And then the second one, series of events, right on. And then the third one, the last one, reorientation. Okay, great, Intan. Now, Funny, can you please tell, so is Do we have to write a reorientation in a biography? Okay, correct. Yes, a reorientation is optional, so the author can choose to include or exclude it. Okay, great job. All right, here I have an example of one of Indonesia's famous figures' biography, Muhammad Hatta's, and this is the reorientation of that biography. So as you can see here, you can find the exact information that we have seen in Kamala Harris's Wikipedia page. So we now know that Muhammad Hatta was born in Bukit Tinggi on August 12th, 1902. We can also see that he has three children, and we now know who his parents are. So these type of information usually go in the orientation, background information, personal information, and now here are the series of events of the biography. As you can see, there's quite a contrast, and in this series of events, we can see which schools he attended and also what he does in June 1922. And as I have mentioned earlier, the events are written in chronological order. Okay, all right. So in the orientation, we introduce the person, who he or she is, and some personal information about him or her. And then in the series of events, we basically write down this person's life journey. So what he does in this year, and then what he does after that, and what are his achievements, what are his career paths, and much more. All right, so for today's activity, I will divide it into three groups, and each group consists of 5 students. Okay, you can see your group members here. So for group A, we have Octo, Intan, Sylvia, Talia, and Rossi. So after you have known who your group members are, please sit together with your group members. And for group B, there's Fanny, Grace, Komang, Priscilla, and Mutiara. In group C, there's Leonie, Putri, Fania, Abior, and Anna. Okay. All right. So I see that have all sat together with your group members. So please remember which group you belong to. And then in this slide, you can see that there's a number right next to your name, right? Okay, so that number indicates which student are you. So for example, Octo, you have number 1 next to your name. So that means you are student number 1. Intan, you are student number 2. Sylvia, student number 3, and so on. Okay, so please remember your group name and also your number. So from this time forward, I will only call you based on that number, not your name. Okay? All right. Okay. Okay. Now I would like to test you. Okay. Can I please have all number 1 students raise their hand? Okay, okay. Okay, great, great. All right. Now, may I please have all number 5 students raise their hand? Okay, great. All right. Now, I would like students with the number 3 raise their hand. All right, comma, Fania, Sylvia. Okay, great. So you have all remembered your number. And this is what we will do for today. So we will do an activity called Numbered Heads Together. And what is it? Well, here are the steps. First, I will distribute a text. And I would like you to read the text individually. Okay, so read it to yourselves. Don't make a fuss. I will give you 5 minutes. So, of course, the text is a biography. And then after you read the text individually, I will use a sound, okay, to signal that your time is up. So every time you hear the sound, that means your time is up. Okay? Okay. I will also, of course, I will also vocally tell you. And then after you read the text individually, then I will present a question on the screen. I'll present a question on the PowerPoint slide. And first, you have individual think time. So you have to think of the answer to the questions by yourselves. You may not discuss with your group members yet. You have 30 seconds for this. And and again, remember the sound, because every time you hear that sound, that means your time is up and you have to move on to the next step. So in step 3, you have to answer the question individually. For this one, I suggest that you write down the answers. So prepare a pen or a pencil and also a piece of paper to write down your answer so you don't forget it. Okay, so after you answer the question, and then in the next step, you have to put your heads together. Basically, what this means is that you have to discuss with your group members and decide on only one answer to present in step 5. What do you have to do in step 5? In step 5, I will grab a piece of paper from the lottery right here. I've prepared it. And if so, for example, I grab a piece of paper and here it says number 1. Okay, so all number 1 students have to stand up, and then I will choose just one student from either group A, B, or C to present their group's answer. Okay, so all right, I'm going to do a little test again. So first, I will distribute a text for you to read individually. Correct? All right, and after that, and after you're done reading the text, what do you have to do? Yes, correct. So after you're done reading the text, then I will give a question in the slide and you have to think of the answer individually. Okay? And then after you think of the question, you have to answer it. Do you have to answer it individually or with your group members? Yes, you have to answer it individually first. So don't make a sound, don't make a fuss. You answer it by yourself and you may write down the answer. And then after that, then you may discuss with your group members. Okay, so in the last step, I will call a number. And what do students with that number have to do? So for example, when I call number 2, what do students number 2 have to do? Yes, exactly. They all have to stand up and then I will choose one student to present their answer. Okay, all right, so it seems that you have all understood today's instructions and I will now distribute the text. Okay, so here's for group A and then group B and then group C. Okay, so I've distributed all of the text, the papers for the text. Now students, please read the text to yourselves and I will give a signal, the sound, when the time is up. Students, so your time to read the text is up. You can keep the text to yourself and you may refer to it to answer to the questions. Okay, so are you ready to play numbered heads together? All right, let's get started. Okay, I will present the first question in 3, 2, 1. Okay, first question. What information about PTIPP can you find in the orientation? Mention 3. Okay, so now it's think time. All right, write down your answers. Remember, you may not discuss with your group members just yet. So answer it individually first. Okay, students, put your heads together. Okay, please sit down, everyone, because the time is up. Okay, now let's see who gets to answer question number 1. I'll grab this paper. Okay, so here it says number 5. So can all number 5 students please stand up? Yes, thank you. And I would like student number 5 from group A. Who's that? Ah, okay, Rossi. Rossi, please answer your group's present your group's answer. Okay, correct. Give a round of applause for Rossi. Okay, yay. Okay, so Rossi mentioned that her group can find BJ Habib's birthplace, birth date, and also parents' name. All right, so here are the answers. So this is all the information that we can find, but we may only choose three. Okay. All right, great job. So that's how the activity works. So guys, this is how the game works. Okay, ready for the next question? All right. Okay, I will switch the slide in three, two, one. Oh, this is quite an easy one. I'm sure that all of you can do it. Okay. Okay, write down your answers. Okay, now put your heads together. And please don't be too loud or you will disturb the other groups, okay? All right, students, please please sit down because the time is up. Okay, now let's see who gets to answer this question. Okay, here. Okay, student number 3. And this time I would like student number 3 from group C. Who is that? Fania. Okay, Fania, can you please answer the question? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes, correct. Great job, Group C. All right. So the answer are these: the theories on thermodynamics, construction, and aerodynamics. Quite easy. I'm sure you all got it correct. Okay, next question. Yeah, three, two, one. Okay, Habibi's career paths. You also have to mention three. Students, okay, write down your answers. Okay, put your heads together. Okay, students, the time is up. Okay, now I will choose another number again. Okay, who will be the lucky one? Student number 1. Okay, can all student number 1 please stand up? And I would like student from group A to please answer this question. Who's that? Octo. All right, Octo. What is your group's answer? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Great job. Right. So here are the answers. So there's quite a lot. Yeah. And you may only choose three. So the one that Okto mentioned earlier, that is that PJ Habibie was the third president of Indonesia and Indonesia's vice president, and also an advisor for the automotive mark Talbot. Talbot. Okay, all right, great job. Okay, next question for the fourth one. Three, two, one. Okay, think time, students. Okay, write down your answers. Okay, put your heads together. Okay, time's up, students. Please sit down. Okay, now. Student number 1 again. Okay, can all number 1 students please stand up? Okay. All right. How about we hear from Group B this time? Who is Group B number 1 student? Yes. Okay. Please answer the question, Fanny. Okay. Yes. Correct. Thank you very much. You are all very smart. You've answered the questions correctly so far. Okay, so here's the answer. So Happy B Asian financial crisis and the chaos of the last few months of Suharto's presidency right after he became a president. But thankfully, he overcame it. So that's really great. Okay. All right. Next question. Ready? Three, two, one. Okay, so here we have five events, and you have to organize it in chronological order. Remember what chronological means. Okay, write down your answers, students. Okay, now put your heads together. Whoops, okay, time's up, students. All right, please sit down. Okay. Okay, number four students. Can all number four students stand up? All right. Now I would like student from group C. So who's number four in group C? Abior. Okay, Abior. What is your group's answer? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, correct. Great job. Right. So here is the chronological order of the events. Remember what chronological means? Yes, it means in order of time. So first, Habibi earned the diploma, the title, he got married, worked on developing an aircraft, worked at IPTN, and then released the book. Okay. All right, last question. Be the last question. You have all done well so far, and I'm confident that you can all answer this one too. Okay, last question in three, two, one. Okay, think time, students. What can you learn from PJ Apipi after reading his biography? Okay, write your answers. Put your heads together. Ding. Time is up, students. Okay, please sit down. Okay, so let's see who gets to answer the last question. Okay, student number. Okay, so students number five. Okay. Hmm. Student number five. Okay, so you have all stood up. Thank you. So I would like student number five from group C. Yes, group C. Who's that? Anna. Okay, Anna. Please present your group's answer. Okay. Thank you very much, Anna. Okay, so for this particular question, there's no right or wrong answers, but personally, I think we can learn these qualities from BTFPP. So being a lifelong learner, a hard worker, a diligent learner, an innovator, and then Anna said how we should never give up. Yes. Okay. So as long as what you mentioned are good qualities, your answer is correct. Okay. Okay. So these are the qualities we can learn from Habibi. So okay. So these are what I got from the text, and I noticed that Anna's answer, she also mentioned hard worker as well. And how about uh, so I've heard from group C. How about group B? I'd also like to know your group's answer. Can can number five student please present it? Okay. Yeah, more or less the same. Okay, they also mentioned hard worker. What about group A? Okay, I see. Okay, so I guess all of you agree that we can all learn that we should be a hardworking person, just like BJ Habibi. Okay, students. Okay, so students, that is all for our activity for today. So, after what we have learned, can you please mention again what kind of information can we include in the orientation? Yes. Just like the biography that we have written, we can mention birthplace, birth date, and then we also see that we can mention information about parents' names. Okay, what about in the series of events? What Okay, after doing the activity, what kind of events can you find? Can you include in the series of events? Yes, achievements, career path, and also educational path. Okay, students, you have all done well. Unfortunately, it's now time to say goodbye. So thank you all for today and see you next week. Bye, everyone.